Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome back into another little Icarus informative here. And we need to talk about the workshop bows. I didn't really talk about this last week because it was such a small update, but I realized that while I was streaming the other day, a lot of people didn't realize how amazing of an update this is. So I guess I'm sorry for not really touching base on this, but let's just talk about in general the workshop bows. I really don't give a shit about the two missions that came out. What's important here is what they did to the bows and why it's such a big deal. So, as a baseline, let's talk about the bows that already existed that they tweaked. You'll notice that the only thing that was tweaked between all three of these here are, and they're all the same cost besides this one here, so like 300 and 100 for these two. Then this one's 1,000. Don't buy this piece of shit, okay? Just screw this. Like, it's fine, but it's not great. Like, we got better things to spend our exotics on later. Now, great starter bow. Sengong Jijing bow, okay? 75% projectile damage. Now you're probably like, Shabby, that's not a big deal. Why would I throw this in my arsenal? It's a waste of space. No. As a reference, your caveworm bow and your recurve bow, so two effective tier 3 bows, let's just say, is a 50% projectile damage boost. 50%. This is 25% better from the drop, okay? This is essentially just slightly weaker by 25% than your compound bow. This is pretty dang good. Now, you'll lose a little bit of damage with the critical, so I suggest moving up to this one. It sucks to have that movement speed reduction, but if you use something else like a fire whacker to move around, it's not the biggest deal. It's great for an early game bow. And then you use something else to move around the map with and just don't put a speed boost into it. But the reason why it's so good is just it's 75% damage. Like, you use this in the envirosuit arrows for 76 to 80 damage. 500 Ren to unlock, but only 10 to craft a stack of 25. You'll be slaying, absolutely slaying left and right. This is so good, but it's not as good as the new bow they introduced, which is literally the best bow in the game. It's stupid. I've been an advocator of boosting these exotic bows or the meta bows or the space bows, whatever you want to call them, for ages. Since day one, I've said these 3 bows are absolute trash. Now, I'll use this bow now. Why not? You know, it'll help you level up. You'll progress through some early missions faster. It's a great spend. But once you become a seasoned Icarus adventurer, you're going to upgrade down here, right? The Larkwell Martinez compound bow, 125% projectile damage, right from the rip. Now, it's a little expensive, obviously, 1750 Ren and 500 exotics to both research and craft your first one. I suggest you frickin' do it. Besides your Neris pick, this should be a must-have in everybody's arsenal by now. Throw one of these in, bring down a pack of repair kits, and you'll never need a goddamn bow again. You also bring either your Aruda arrows or these new arrows here for 99 to 105. 99 to 105. That is like 20% better than these here. Now, the crafting cost is a bit higher. It's 50 per. Oh, no. But that amount of Ren is nothing for a mission. You can make that Ren back every single mission, hands over fists, okay? Super good. 105 projectile damage with 125% boost. That's literally better than a tier 4 compound bow. It's the best bow in the game. Maybe with the critical bonus, it's slightly worse. Maybe. I'd have to do some real testing, but at the end of the day, you're getting this as soon as you land on the planet. You're going to take these with a stack or 2 of some Larkwell arrows, and you'll one-shot everything. Not everything, but like, you know, respectively lower-level bears, even some mid-level bears, actually. Some low-level polar bears, even. I mean, now the crocodiles, you'll be ripping them apart. Komodo dragons are nothing anyways. I mean, crocodiles aren't anything either. You can just backpedal and stab them with a knife, no problem. But geez, is this overpowered? This is so broken that you're literally getting the best weapon in the game off the rip. That's just what it is. It's right off the rip. It's the best bow in the game. And you get, like, damn well near top tier arrows as well. You can just go down with a bow and arrow and just slay. Go down for a hard mission. Nope, boom, slay everything. not going to be stopped. These are so good. But that's not the only thing. If you've got some good synergies in your team, you can really experiment with some of these arrows now. We have the bleed arrow. It's fine. It's DOT. Is it worth a slot in your exotics? Probably not. I mean, it's not great. It's fine. It's decent damage. You get a bleed for 30 seconds for 3 to 7 damage. So you're doing 90 to 210 damage. Like, fine. Or I can just shoot him with one extra arrow and I'll get that 210 damage. Like, who gives a shit? Like, yeah, once you start stacking them, and that's why I say when you have a good team composition, something like this might be nice for, say, fighting the Scorpion boss or some other bosses that may be soon to come that have high HP pools. And you can have one guy just like, if he doesn't have a good vantage point or you don't get a good vantage point, swap out from your arrows. If you're not getting your headshots, throw some bleeds on them, swap back. Or, maybe you want to throw a little taser arrow on there. Again, shit damage, but you'll get a tase for 4 seconds. So a slow over time and dealing 40 to 120. So you'll be dealing 160 to 480 over 4 seconds, which is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. But you can also slow your target. But the stronger the target, the more likely they are to resist the effects. So for bossing, may not be the greatest, but you have a team synergy. Maybe that's slow, even one every few shots. It's not the worst thing that could happen for sure, right? And then you've got something that's good for crowd control. Now, you have to play with these a lot. So you've got some ballistic arrows. They sound like a lot of fun, but they don't sound too practical. Deals up to 200 damage in a 5-meter radius. So I'm assuming like as it gets like maybe a meter out, it drops off. We'll have to test. But in addition to the damage from the initial hit, 57 to 60, it's like a basic bone arrow, I believe, give or take. 100% chance to break. 200 damage, though. It's not a lot. I mean, maybe for some of the new missions that have come out on sticks to where we get a lot of wolves coming in. And they're kind of concentrating on your radar scanners. Perhaps not a terrible idea. If you can't hit your headshots, because otherwise you'll still one-shot a wolf. But if you get kind of overwhelmed with them, like when all the Komodos came in on some of the new missions, maybe not the worst thing. Again, is it worth a slot? I don't know. I don't think so. My opinion is no. They're cool. They're fun. You go down with like a team of 3 or 4 people and you have some extra slots because you don't need to be bringing down so many things and you want to bring these. Hell yeah. Have some freaking fun. They're a lot of fun, right? But they're not that practical, especially from a solo standpoint, which is what I talk about a lot. They're definitely not practical in a solo standpoint until like some big groups of enemies come out. But a lot of times they obviously like kind of feed them slowly to you so you're not overwhelmed by 20 or 30 creatures. 1, the optimization can't handle it of the game, and 2, your PC will just freaking melt, right? Because it's not optimized that well. But not even that, is they also do it to like halt the progression so you're not just overwhelmed with just a shit ton of characters on the screen that's going to mop you. If they do something like that, and they're all relatively low health, like say the scorpions from the scorpion boss fight, yeah, you could use these to mop all those up. Again, those are pretty simple. You could just use a shotgun and one-tap them all in one burst. But this is a viable option also. I recommend have fun with them and experiment during your team plays, like 3 to 4 people. Solo, no. I wouldn't use any of these arrows in a solo standpoint. It's the same one I said about these with the other things. A chance to slow, who gives a shit? Chance to poison, again, who really cares? Like, again, team standpoints I've always said. But this is 5 low-cost medals, so... it's different. It's fun. They're cute. They're unique. Is it practical? Not really. Not really. Like very minimal. You have extra space. You have a lot of people and you're going down goofing around. Hell yeah. Throw some synergy out there. Get some slows. Get some bleeds out there. Throw some poisons on them. Throw out some projectile booms. You'll hurt your friends, so it'll be even funnier. So it's a great time, but not practical in most circumstances until maybe some newer content where a group mobbing would make those super effective in specific missions. But I do highly suggest for you in all of your kits, if you're new, get yourself a bow. I personally like this one. The -5% critical is fine for me. I don't want my movement speed reduced. I like to move around the map fast. This game's a walking simulator. Speed is everything. Speed is king. I do not suggest this because this is 1750 exotics, or sorry, 1750 Ren and 500 exotics to research and craft one. It's literally the exact same cost as the new Larkwell bow. Okay. Now, do they have some other bonuses? Sure. Do you care about arrow speed? I mean, if you're hitting your shots just fine without it, it might just mess you up. Do you get a little bit of damage? Yeah, you're up to 85 damage with bows and crossbows, and you get a little bit of charge speed reduction. But at the end of the day, you want to be one-tapping things with the bow, right? Or maybe two-tapping. Crouch down, get your sneak shot, hit your headshot, boom. Drop everything with your Larkwell Martinez compound bow, and you'll be good to go. So definitely early game, grab yourself a Shengang Jijing. Mid to late game, when you get some exotics, I would still suggest, get yourself a nice Anaris pick. It's beautiful. But then maybe afterwards, your exotic should maybe come over towards your bow, especially if you have a hard time in the early game with creatures. And then the Riverlands especially are running around sticks right now. Definitely get a Larkwell Martinez. I got to go grind some more exotics so I can do it, because one of the last updates made me lose all my items pretty much, and I had to rebuy everything. So I'm a little low. But that's just what happens with Icarus updates when they bug out previous content. It's just what happens here, okay? But all right, guys, if you love this and you found it useful, I hope you did. I glossed over it a little quick. We're going to be playing with it. I'm going to do an overview in-game of all the different arrows as well. But like I said, in the live stream, it seemed like not a lot of people really understood how great of an update this was, and still kind of put these meta bows to the back burner. Now, front burner, this goes on every kit. Pick your bow wisely. Early game bow, late game bow. Grab yourself some Larkwell arrows once you get there. Otherwise, use the Yoruda. Amazing on every aspect, okay? But all right, guys, this has been ShabbyDoo. As usual, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you do get back here for that sweet Shabby content. And as usual, I want you to hit that like button down below to make sure you're loving this content. Leave me comments. Let me know what your favorite bow is. If you like this bow, I want to know. And I want to know why, because I don't believe you. Or if you have good uses for some of these special arrows, leave me a comment as well. Tell me about that, and we'll go explore them. But all right, guys, as usual, this has been ShabbyDoo. I hope the rest of your day is not too shabby.